Hello there, this is Jean with Jean the Apothecary, and this is Metamorphosis in Motion. We're on day 37, and I'm always unsure every day. It's day 37, and this is my daily check-in on my midlife transformation. I decided 37, well, a couple days before 37 days ago, but 37 days is how many days I've been documenting sort of my rebirth that I declared on my birthday this year. So I feel like the past few check-ins have been a little bit more like chronicling in my journal and a little less about transformation. There's just been a lot going on, and my mind really hasn't been free to think clearly. So what I wanted to do today is bring that back around again and talk more about the things that I want to change in my life and what's been working and what hasn't, and what I'm going to be moving forward doing. What's been working? Not drinking. I haven't had anything to drink alcohol-wise for 39 days. We're going on 40 days. I haven't had coffee, and I've recently cut out caffeine. So those two things combined means I sleep really well now. That's been working out great. I started a morning routine that I then shifted because I thought, well, it's so hot during the midday that wouldn't I want to use my early morning hours to be outside doing the work I need to do outside. So work I do outside, take care of my plants. I'm an herbalist. I have herbs that are growing, and I need to harvest and all that stuff. So there's a lot of work I like to do outside. Plus, I just like to be outside. That did not work out so well because I found that when I didn't do the routine first thing in the morning, I didn't do it at all. I mean, I think I had one day of I thought, oh, this is a great time for me to go and meditate. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. So I'm starting to do it again in the morning. I've been giving myself the freedom to sleep in, which for me is really, I'm up by 7. If I sleep later than 7, that's kind of really sleeping in. My objective is to get up before 6. I want to say 5, but sometimes I think that's unrealistic. So why would I set myself up to not be able to attain an unrealistic goal? There was a point in time where I was able to get up at 5, and it's a great time. So maybe we'll see. That's something to keep an eye on to see if that's something I can do. But for now, I have wanted to take advantage of my body getting the rest because for a long time it didn't. And to me, it seems like I have a lot of healing inside to do, and I'll let my body heal. And it'll get up when it's ready to get up. It's a lot easier to go to bed most nights, not every night, but most of the time. It is much easier just to fall straight away to sleep and stay asleep. And that is the key, just staying asleep and waking up well rested in the morning. So those are some things that have worked. Some things that I haven't implemented yet. Well, I did try a little bit. So understanding that I just couldn't do everything at one time. And I think it's a rare person who can just do all the things at once. I'm going to say nobody can do it. But for me personally, stages of things with a goal in mind. So what other things? One is how I dress. So when I stopped working and I started staying home with the kids, I had no reason to put on a suit or nice clothes. I wanted to be comfortable. Well, comfortable has turned into frumptable, and I want to change. I made that word up, if you didn't already know. And so I want to change that. But the other thing is I'm not in the shape I want to be in. I want to wear clothes that fit me. I love summer because it's linen time, and my linen is very big and baggy, and I just wear big and baggy linen clothes, and it's very, very comfortable. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great either. I'd like to be able to wear some nicer clothes that maybe fit a little better, and I hold off. And I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. I hold off because I say, well, when I get into better shape, then I'll spend more money on nicer clothes. I'm undecided. because I still sort of think that way, but I'm not sure that's the right way to think. So that's a little bit of a, I'm going to have to decide and make it, that's part of my transformation. How do I dress nicer? How do I present myself nicer? If you've been watching these, you'll see there are a lot of days I go without makeup because it's easier. I don't have tons of time. If I do my hair and it's raining or humid out, it's kind of like, why did I waste my time to do that? So I have to put my mindset in the place where it's nice to look nice. And it's nice to look nice if I want to jump on camera anytime. I'm sure there are days that I don't get on camera because I'm worried that, well, I haven't gotten myself together and I don't want to present on camera. Now, I'm being real here, so I don't want to also have you think that every day is a perfect day. It is not, and it won't ever always be perfect, and that doesn't mean I should hide. But I think that it does. And the other thing for me is to present for my kids, right? So if they're seeing me all the time, they're not going to school and seeing a teacher who gets, hopefully, a teacher who gets dressed and presentable for school, or their classmates getting dressed up and being presentable for class. They're seeing their mom get out of bed, throw on some clothes to go walk the dog, and then throw the hair up so I can do stuff around the house and not worry about that. Well, that's going to change partly for me, so I feel better, but also for them, so they see that that's the kind of the right way to be. You want to be able to get up and go out and look nice, and so that's part of the transformation. And the other part is the changing diet and exercise again, and that's always been important to me, and I have always, because it was a very focal point when I was growing up, that how you looked was pretty much everything. So I spent a lot of years trying to always reach this body type, but I was never quite able to get there. And so I've been very hard on myself about that, and I've tried many different ways of eating, thinking that there's this way that will work for me, and I think I have that way. So I would love it if you would follow along to see if it does work out. I've created a system. If it's like another system, I don't know, and I'm straight up honest about that, because while I've done Whole30, keto, a little bit of paleo, just eating normally being kind of like including, in addition to the home cooked foods and the mostly home cooked food and the CSA shares and the healthy food like that. Sometimes, we eat out. We don't always eat perfectly. There was a long time I never would buy a package of any food from the store, especially when my kids were growing up. And then we started buying packaged food because I got really busy with my trying to get my business going. So the kids have been eating a little more along the lines of what I would not have let them eat when they were younger. They're older now and can do their own food. So I want to figure something out, because my whole goal with this eating and exercise is it should be normal, kind of like getting up and you brush your teeth, maybe you do your hair, you know when to, I don't know, I don't want to get too down in the weeds, but there are things that we just inherently know. If you're hungry, you eat. The struggle is, what do you eat? It shouldn't be that way. We should really know and not have this diet or that diet, but because of our age, our height, our exercise activity level, so different people have different activity levels. Some are mountain bikers or triathlon runners, or that doesn't make sense. Marathon runners, or they do triathlons. And they're going to need a lot more calories and different types of food composition. Well, based on your body type and all that, there should be a standard way of just putting in what keeps you nourished, the minerals and the vitamins and the right ratio of macronutrients, and intuitively know what that looks like. As soon as we and also to have a little leniency, right? It shouldn't be so rigid that you can't go out somewhere and enjoy being where you are. Understanding what that looks like in a way that it's just that's just the way it is. So that people don't have to spend their lives doing what I did and reading everything about every kind of way to eat. I ate clean. I was a bodybuilder. I did a different type of macro counting. And really nothing holds, because it seems like you eat this way and the whole rest of the world eats a different way, and it's really hard to maintain that. And I'd like to see where people learn to, well, hopefully have a system where people said, I don't want to do this because I want to be healthy, right? I don't need to drink. Well, okay, I'm not gonna come down on any particular eating style or diet. But I guess what I want to say is, if it's a fad and you're along for the ride for a little while, then it all comes back on again. Now, to be fair, there is one thing that I can point to that has always 100% of the time caused me to go from a healthier way of eating, living, body composition and everything. There's one thing that has put the weight back on. It's no, I don't go to the freezer and eat a pint of ice cream. That's not my thing. No, I don't eat a bag of chips. No, I don't. It's not the food I eat. It is the alcohol I would drink. So I would like to drink beer was what I preferred, and just like that, the weight would come on. And the thing about that is, the weight would come on just like that. It does not come off just like that, even without drinking anymore. And I'm not changing my diet, or haven't really changed my diet, but that is something that I am going to do. And this is not just for me. This is because I would like my kids, especially my daughter, to grow up and know the right way to eat for the optimal health, not how to eat whatever and then figure out a way to lose a bunch of weight, like deprive yourself and then eat whatever, and like do that yo-yo, right? The yo-yo dieting that we've all heard about and probably experienced, at least I personally have. So and then get back to exercise. So what does good exercise look like? And there will be some strength training. I think that because I did a lot of strength training when I was younger, it has helped me immensely as I've aged, but I've stopped exercising, and it's time to get back. It's time to lose the excuses about I have a torn labrum in my hip, and I cannot run anymore without a lot of pain. I do have sciatica, and I have I can't even think of the word. One of my discs in my lower back, or a couple of them, are not optimally healthy. Otherwise, I'm pretty structurally sound, except I am now pretty much structurally sound. I had some trouble in my shoulders for a while, and that made it hard for me. I can't rely on just saying, well, I exercise because I go out and garden. No, I have to put in a regular routine, and that has to be also for my kids. So that is my next thing, like getting this whole physical health put together and implemented, and a habitual. So it's not a big, there's not a lot of thought put into it to get it done. And in doing that, and circle back around to how I present myself, should I dress frumpy now until I lose weight? Probably not. So I'm going to have to pick some things and plan to make a bigger investment in what I wear when I do get to my goal. But in the meanwhile, I should feel good about the way I look, no matter what my body looks like, because my body type isn't me. It's not who I am. But I do feel better when I'm healthier. And I have a great example of this. Last year, when I was doing bees this time of year, it was the same hot. I probably did more work because I was really new with them, but I didn't feel nearly as bad as I did yesterday. And last year I was in better shape. I was about 20 pounds lighter, which is actually a lot when I really think about it. And so I have concrete evidence that being better conditioned, I can do more and feel better about doing it. And I also just want to be as healthy as I can, as long as I can for my kids, and be that good example for them. So if you stick around and watch these daily check-ins, I will give you what's working and what's not working. I will tell you like it is. I put this off for 37 days because I had other things to work on, other things that were taking up my space in my mind. But it's time now for me to take the next step in the next phase, because I want this transformation to be lifelong. The rest of my life, this was my rebirth, and now the rest of my life is going to be in this place that I have set as a goal for myself. Not, oh, I guess I'll get to it if I get to it. No, this is the trajectory. So for the rest of my life, I'm going to have the ultimate, optimal is the word I'm looking for, the optimal physical health. There's no reason for me to lose it. There's no reason for you to lose it just because you're getting older. Not at all. In fact, it's much more important as you get older to keep your body conditioned, because in that way you'll be able to age and live until you die, not age and deteriorate and sit and not move, but get around and do all the things that you want to do and hang out with grandkids. I mean, my kids are still young. I don't want to think about grandkids too soon, because they have a lot of life to live before I think that we should start seeing grandkids. But when they come, I want to be able to play around with them and not just sit and watch them, because I can't move, and I'm not young. I didn't choose to have kids until I was older in life, so I'm 54. And I just want to keep going as if I'm 34, 44, whatever, right? So that was my message today. It's a long one, but I started to think that it was a time for me to recircle back around to what this was all about, and that was actually making changes, not necessarily, life's going to happen, and I'm going to check in about life happening, and trying to stick with things as things get hard, because there have been times when things got hard and I just said, I just can't manage this, and I would retreat into my world and not do it. And I'm not going to retreat anymore, even if my videos flop or whatever, because I think if I keep doing these, then it's just going to get easier. That's the goal, to get easier. I'm going to have to start remembering to wear a mic when I'm doing these, because it's raining right now and I'm not talking very loudly, so hopefully this comes clear and through, and hopefully you got something out of this, or want to see what I'm doing and trying to give you a little maybe inspo. That would be ideal. I don't want to just do these and talk to an open or a blank or a black hole. That's what I'm looking for, a black hole. My brain has to get healed too. That's the other thing I didn't talk about, but making sure that my insides and my brain and my liver, my heart, all my organs are functioning optimally, and the things I'm doing to help with that too. So that was to say, if you are getting some inspiration here, watching the improvements and knowing that if you're kind of stuck, you don't have to be. I was very stuck, very, very stuck, and it shows in me, but it also shows in my kids, and they're the most important thing in this whole world to me, and I have to do better and be, if I want them to do better, I have to be better. I can't just tell them to be better because I said so. It does not work that way. So I'll check in again every day. I'll be back tomorrow with day 38. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.